It is a great morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into the number one group of five college football show in the world. This is the Group of Five guys, and our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media and the AP absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Check out the Believe Network. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, share with your family and friends. On this episode, we're going to recap a phenomenal, in all aspects, phenomenal trip to New Orleans. We're going to talk about another fantastic week in the Group of Five. We're going to talk about some of the other games. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of Five guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five.
Group of Five guys told me that.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Troy has won. It's been a winner, and it's a special place. So it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, how you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I feel absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Are you rejuvenated, hydrated, ready to take on another week?
I'm none of those things. I got my Deca Gray. Thank God for that.
Me too.
As soon as I got into town, had to drop old Ben Glizzy off, producer Ben, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Went straight to football practice for my boys. Then came home, did dinner, did laundry. I mean, we were just right back in the thick of it. But was riding high from an incredible weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, what more could you possibly ask for? Incredible game, incredible food, atmosphere. Our piece to the intro of this show with our dear friend Josh Pate came to fruition.
Yes, it did.
I mean, incredible weekend.
Yeah, Jeff, you're spot on. I got the Deca Gray too. I came home and I attempted to lay on the couch. I was like, I just want to shut my eyes for like 10 minutes. Just give me 10. And I immediately got a Rob Van Dam frog splash right on me. The kids were missing the wrestles with Dad. So I mean, we got right to it, pal.
Hey.
Just right into it. And then, of course, put the kids to bed and tried to prepare for the show as much as I could. Tried to listen to a bunch of stuff on the drive home and got myself ready to go. But what a great weekend. And, yeah, we mentioned Deca Gray. Shout out to Deca Gray Coffee. They are getting us through a lot of these. We're starting to get into the thick of it, Jeff, with these where it's like, man, Monday morning is going to be tough. We're going to start getting Tuesday, Wednesday games here in a couple of weeks. The Wednesday morning, Friday morning show, it's going to be tough. But shout out Deca Gray Coffee. Make sure you visit their website, decagray.com. Use our promo code GOFG for 10% off and free shipping on your roast-to-order coffee. Also, shout out to Levels Sports Picks. Tell you what, that Discord's going crazy, isn't it, Jeff? I mean, people are winning. They're winning money left and right. All the cool stuff. We had posted a bunch of pictures from New Orleans in there. So make sure you check that out. Our link is in the bio on all of our social platforms. Make sure you check out Level Sports Picks. Well, Jeff, another week, another blunder by the AP poll. And I, for one, I don't know if you saw it. I'm going viral on my personal Twitter account, Jeff.
You are going viral. I mean, it just shows you the power of timing of tweeting, right? Things that are going on, but it makes no sense, and they're getting exposed. The veil is being lifted off in this country in multiple aspects, by the way. But the AP, they're a bunch of frauds. Who in their right mind still has Clemson and does not have Georgia Tech?
Correct. And this is, again, like, a lot of people get on us and say, "Oh, you guys are just whining. The Group of Five's whining." No. It's branding across the board because Clemson is a bigger brand than Georgia Tech is. So these people just fall for it. And on my tweet, it's so funny. All I said was, "Hey, South Florida beat two really good teams, and then they got smoked by what might be the best team in the country." And I said, Alabama beat they beat one bad team and another maybe okay team, and they lost to a team that appears to be really good. They got smoked. One of them is climbing in the rankings, and one of them, that's my point, is that Alabama's loss is just totally forgiven and they move on, and South Florida's loss is not going to be forgiven, and they won't be back in the top 25 until, week 8 or 9 if they continue to win every week. And oh boy, did I catch somebody's feelings. I mean, how are you going to take a shot at Alabama? They would stomp South Florida. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's not true. The last 2 years, Nick Saban said it on game day 2 weeks in a row. And no. This South Florida team's got guys. They gave us that game was, and then they show the final score. And I'm like, yeah, but it was 21-16 with 5 minutes left. I'm like, watch the game. Don't watch the box score. And then they're all saying, maybe, well, Boise State and Florida aren't very good. I'm saying, oh, okay, well, explain to me how LSU is number 3 in the country. And then they're saying, well, LSU's not very good either. And I'm like, like, you're getting there. I'm drawing them to, well, they're not very good. I'm like, oh, okay, but they're number 3 and South Florida's unranked. So now you're starting to see where I'm coming from. I'm not saying LSU's bad. I think LSU's pretty good. I think Bama's probably pretty good. I just think South Florida's also pretty good. And that's the problem that I have.
Well, there's tons of problems with this poll, right? Why in God's name is Notre Dame still ranked?
0-2, first since 1988.
But they're still in the poll. And then, you get number 11 team in the country, South Carolina, gets absolutely bludgeoned by Vanderbilt. It's like, that just goes to show you that the people who are doing this poll, they're not ball knowers. They don't watch the film. They don't watch.
Ball is not on the committee.
No, he is not on the committee. And they just go off of brands. So then you get these inflated wins and losses based off of the preseason poll. That's why it should not come out. And we've said this for a while now, until like week 4, week 5. But I get it. Yep. Like, you got to have the clicks. You wouldn't be going viral, last
Correct.
night if they didn't put the poll out. But Notre Dame, you have an 0-2 team.
I know.
I don't get it.
I know. Well, and the key to that is, so everybody, this is the other thing. And we caught the very end of Clemson, Georgia Tech in the hotel before we were getting ready to head over to head to the game at Tulane. And we talked about it because immediately after that game's over, they go to the desk and there's no talk about Georgia Tech and their path to the playoff. And the immediate conversation is, how does Clemson get in the playoff? Why should they? Why is that even a conversation? They've already lost twice. They appear to not be very good. So these polls and these media narratives are, what can we do to get our brands in? What narrative can we push to get our brands in? And that's why Notre Dame is where they are, because if Notre Dame's at 24, you look at their schedule the rest of the way, they don't play any more currently ranked teams in this poll. So Notre Dame, I promise you, if they run the table the rest of the way, they'll climb all the way back in the top 10, no question. If South Florida, who doesn't play another ranked team at the current standing, goes undefeated the rest of the way, promise you they'll barely be fighting to be in the top 20. And that's the big issue here.
Sprouse, I got something here for you.
What you got?
I know we got to move on, but let's just say, because Notre Dame still has to play Boise.
They do.
Still have to play Navy.
They do.
Like, they got some.
No, they don't have an easy schedule.
But here's my point. Let's just say Notre Dame happens to lose one more time. They're not going to make the playoff.
No.
So what does that do? That opens up another spot now in the American, maybe American champ. Maybe we get a Mountain West champ and one loss Boise or one loss UNLV. Is there a possibility that we could get to? Is there? I don't know. Probably not.
Well,
I'm probably
I think, and that's what we talked about last week, is I think you've got to have, I think this American race has to heat up and be just statement for statement, right? South Florida and Tulane look to be the top two. Memphis is sitting right there undefeated, flying under the radar, but it's got to be end of the season where there's a couple of them in the mix. And then you get a championship game where it's a, great game. And I mean, I definitely think there's an opportunity. I think Boise State's going to find themselves climbing right back into the race too. Don't get it twisted.
Well,
the more I look at it,
I hope they stay ranked, and that way Boise beats them when they play them.
Yeah, well, 100%. I agree with that. If I had my way, we'd get rid of polls altogether and just simply go on conference champions. But hey, who am I, Jeff? Hey, Jeff, who's it time to start paying attention to, buddy?
I'll tell you, it's time to start paying attention to Utah State Aggies, my friend. They look good. And they have a dynamic backfield with quarterback and 2 running backs. Bryson Barnes, almost 700 yards passing on the year, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Miles Davis, Javin Jacobs in the backfield, dynamic. Bryson Barnes also has 4 rushing touchdowns, so 9 total touchdowns on the year. Utah State, 2-1. They look the part. They're taking care of teams they're supposed to be taken care of, and it's time to start paying attention to the Aggies.
Yeah, and big win for Utah State as home dogs against Air Force. Bryson Barnes, you mentioned, 17 of 22, 287, 2 touchdowns for the Aggies. So, yeah, look out, Utah State. I got one, Jeff, North Texas. North Texas, we knew about the offense. They have answered the bell, it appears, defensively. They scored 59 points over the weekend. Here's the thing. It's not like they're throwing it it's not like they're throwing it 50 times and just got a lucky game. They're doing it pretty balanced. I mean, 24, 29, 211, and 4 touchdowns for the quarterback. Like 29 attempts. I mean, that's not crazy.
Not crazy for college football.
Pretty low for North Texas style offense. And I want to stand corrected here because last week we talked about how they haven't played defense in a decade. Well, they're playing defense this year. Forced 5 turnovers on Saturday. They're tied for second in the country in turnover margin. So we talk about it all the time. Turnovers, you don't turn it over and you get turnovers, you got a good chance, man. But so look out for North Texas and the Mean Green. Another team trying to jump in the mix. This American Conference, buddy, is rolling. I mean, it just absolutely rolling right now. And I just hope that they don't eat each other. So I hope there's a team that can get through it unscathed. And it's going to be really tough. I know Tulane, South Florida don't play each other, which is exciting for those two. But you still got UTSA, Navy, North Texas that can beat anybody at any time.
Yeah, I need to go back and look at those 3 specifically, their schedules. But what if I just have to go back and look, because if you get a 1-loss Navy, 1-loss Memphis, 1-loss Tulane. Like all
1 loss in conference.
Yeah.
And none of them play each other.
Yeah.
Think you probably go to
some stupid tiebreaker
committee. You go to the committee poll, maybe, I think, which will be Tulane. I mean, more than likely, right? But
probably. Anyway,
well, let's talk about our trip down there, Jeff, a little bit. You got to give some shout outs. Byron Ellis, Richard Dempsey, Cole Hurd, Jason Corrier, I think is how you say it, a little New Orleans to it. And then Avery, who drove the golf cart in hostile territory. By the way, we'll have to talk about that, but what a time in New Orleans.
And the head man, you can't forget him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that guy, that staff, dude, from all the way up, all the way down, is like a bunch of bros, just like all just dudes that are like having fun with their buddies. They're just really good at coaching football. So,
well, what's so cool about it, and I was telling Scarlett this last time when I was home, it's like, we talk about a lot of things with the players and how tight the players are. But I think one thing that gets overlooked is how connected a staff is. And it all starts at the top. I mean, Summerall sets the tone, and we heard multiple people throughout the weekend talk about, Summerall's on every single person. They're like, change one thing about their life or to do this or to get in the gym or whatever the case may be. Like, he just sets the tone for them. I think it bleeds into the university. I mean, every person top to bottom is like dialed in, and they all just like genuinely care about one another. And like you said, they're all like buddies that are on the staff that are all fighting, for the same thing. And it's just it's awesome to see. It's infectious to be around. And just shout out to all of them.
Well, and then you get to spend a little bit of time in the locker room post game. There's not a better moment or feeling than that, is there?
No.
I mean, if you're on a team, if you're on any kind of team or organization or anything like that, when you've worked for something and you get it, that celebration time is as special as it can be, man. And shout out to those players. I'm glad they got to experience it. I'm glad those coaches got that win. There was a lot of pressure on Tulane to perform on Saturday night, and they sure as hell did. But so let's talk campus and facilities. That campus is unbelievable. Look, I'm not going to sit up here and say New Orleans, you got some rough spots, okay? You come into town, right? It's 2:00 in the morning. You're driving in. I mean, we got there Thursday night about 1:32 in the morning. We drove, through the night a little bit, woke up at 6, got over to campus, got a show on. But anyway, you get into New Orleans about 2 a.m. and the Uptown Deli is cracking. I thought it was a nightclub, Jeff. It was a gas station. I thought, oh, I'm going to go park and, 2-step over here and we're going to have a grand old time. It's a gas station. So there's some sketchy parts of New Orleans, but when you're around that campus, man, you got the live oak trees growing over the road. There's a view everywhere. The old architecture, that New Orleans style architecture, man, in the however many $1 million houses across the street and around. You got the Audubon Park across the street. Just beautiful, beautiful landscape and architecture everywhere. I mean, I can't get over the campus.
Yeah, campus was incredible. We got to drive through. Avery drove us around and kind of showed us everything. And I mean, it's really just a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
A lot of times we go places and there's, you got some foliage, some trees and stuff, but this was like everywhere you walk is shaded. All the buildings are super pretty on campus. They're old, but they've been maintained very well. And then you look at their facilities. I mean, locker room's incredible. They redid the atrium inside there. And by the way, documentary will be coming out this week. I think the plan is Thursday to have that drop Thursday afternoon. So you'll get to see all this stuff. And then you go through the coach's office. Like everything is just on its, it's either top tier, and then they got the next phase where the indoor bubble practice facility is going to be. And then eventually when they get to phase 3 will be like the student athlete performance center. It'll be a whole new football, weight room, locker room, all like a whole new facility for specifically football and some other sports as well. But just to kind of open up a few areas that need to be upgraded. But yeah, I mean, just incredible. And then the food. I mean, everywhere you eat is just superior seafood, phenomenal.
Yeah, you get the French 75s over there at the Superior Seafood. You get the oyster, you got the char-grilled oysters. And then you get that pasta de la mer, which is fantastic. I want to give a shout out on the facilities. You got to give a shout out to like the engineer folks, the facility folks in there that are able to, because it's not like a lot of places where you can just say, oh, well, we'll just put a building over there. Oh, we'll just build a big indoor over in that empty space. There's not empty space anywhere. So they really have to get creative with the way that they use their space and the way that they share some spaces. And they do a hell of a job of it. That atrium's cool, man. You just walk in a big circle and there's hallways, one sport's here, one sport's there. It's pretty cool spot, man. But
and one more thing I definitely want to shout out. And we talked about how Summerall kind of sets the tone and sets the standard for that program. And the university is that way too, because you're walking through the Glazer Club, absolutely incredible with the food, during the game and all these things. The hardest working custodial crew I think I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, up there, a crumb drops on the table. They're up there wiping it, sweeping it. I mean, just working hard. We were there Friday. They were setting up, cleaning, doing all that stuff. And then throughout the game, we went up there at halftime. We got a bite to eat. And same thing, just super nice. Yeah. Everybody's dialed in. This is what a university, top to bottom, football, athletics, when they're all on the same page, working towards the same goal, have the same standards set at the top. It makes such a huge difference. So shout out to every single person in that building at that university who makes, makes it go the right way.
Literally, Jeff, all the way down to the janitors. I mean, we were talking about it. I had some of that Oreo popcorn, fantastic, by the way. Before I dropped a kernel on the floor. Before it hits the floor, I see a broom sweeping between my legs to get the kernel up. I'm like, oh, I'd have got that. And you got thousands of people up there, and there's not a line. You know, nobody's waiting on anything. Like, you got prime rib, a carving station, and you're not waiting on charcuterie boards. You're not waiting on anything. And for all those people to be in there to run so efficiently, I mean, yeah, you got to give a shout out. I don't know who their catering company and janitorial company is, but they do a damn good job. But anyway,
last thing real quick too, I want to shout out to tailgate was great. We walked around there, got to see Green Wave Man, the Greenbackers were over there, and then walked over to the boot. Talk about a hopping place right before
ain't no question
kickoff.
Hey, well, and that tailgate, and I hate, Jeff, that I am so bad at remembering everybody's names. And we met so many people. We went to Bruno's and met so many people at the tailgate in the Glazer Club.
The uptown folks.
And you got to give a shout out to all of those people. The gentleman and his wife that we met at the Superior Grill or the Superior Seafood. And then I saw them again in the Glazer Club. But yeah, man, just great people. That's why I love football, man. So many good people involved with the game of football. But let's talk about the game, Jeff. Incredible crowd. Student section answered the bell incredibly. Duke, defensively, Tulane, that back end, I mean, they shut everything down. Mensa had all kinds of time. I mean, we kept saying, when is Westmoreland going to get home on one of these? They got close a couple of times.
They did.
I think they got him once, maybe twice. But he never really was able to get into any rhythm. And then Retzlaff, I mean, what can you say? 4 rushing touchdowns. Could have easily been 5. I mean, Tulane was dialed in offensively from the jump. I mean, they opened that game, the 3 touchdowns. They go up 3 touchdowns early, and then it was just hanging on from there, really.
You got to just give credit to Tulane coming out in this game, being ready to go right off the jump. You know, they got the, won the toss, deferred to the second half. Defense comes out right away, and with their hair on fire, getting after Mensa, putting pressure on them. And you mentioned the defensive back played a lot of man coverage, challenged those receivers, and said, "Look, we trust our guys in the back end. We're going to cover you one-on-one." And for the most part, like you mentioned it, they didn't get a ton of pressure on Mensa. Now, enough to move him out of the pocket. He had to run around a little bit, but never really got home. But those defensive backs, what a great job they did. And then having the core, this offense with Retzlaff, it's a different element than you've seen in years past. Mensa was a good runner. Pratt was a good runner. Retzlaff is an incredible runner. He needs to hold on to the ball, number one. That's big. But them instituting like the designed quarterback zone read, quarterback power, quarterback draw run, where you pick up the extra blocker in the backfield, it changes this offense completely from a defensive like schematic standpoint, because he can drop dots too. He's not just a runner. Like, he's a great thrower of the football. Mm-hmm. I don't think I realized last year how effective, fast, physical he likes to be as a runner. So it's a nightmare for defenses. And you saw that with his legs. They kept going for the running back, so he would pull it and you could drive a semi through some of these damn holes.
Yeah, that first one right down the middle of the field, which he got pushed in the back, by the way. I got a little TV time on. I was calling for the flag. But yeah, and again, shout out to the defense. The only time Duke ever really got momentum, a couple calls. And I'm not here to say they were bad calls. Being where we were at, it's tough to tell.
ACC crew.
Yeah, a couple PI calls, the roughing the passer they called on Mensa, and then, of course, they don't call the one on Retzlaff, and then they don't call the one in the end zone on Retzlaff that I was bird's eye view of. But so that was really the only time. I mean, you gave them the field on one drive with 2 straight 15-yard penalties on an unsportsmanlike and a pass interference, but they bent and they didn't break. I will tell you this, though. They need to learn to quit relaxing at the end of the game like that, because you can run into Ole Miss next week, and if you get a lead at any point, it ain't going to be easy to hold.
No, it won't be. And you got to give a lot of credit to Sumrall at, I think it was middle to late third quarter. Like, Duke has the momentum.
Yeah.
And they're driving, and they get caught short on a third down. It's like 4th and 1.
Well,
4th and 2.
Retzlaff slides. He's
That's
got the
what it was.
first down and he slides.
That's
yeah.
what it was. He was short.
Yep.
And they, like I said, Duke had the momentum at that point. Scored before halftime, right in the beginning of the third quarter. And then Summerall decides to go for it. And they get it and burn another like 3-4 minutes off the clock and end up scoring. And that kind of like put it a little bit further away.
Yep.
And Duke could never just come back and get it.
That was the moment when he slid that we looked at each other and we were like, that's how you lose these games. Like dumb stuff like that. And then Summerall just put his nuts in a wheelbarrow,
man. No doubt.
and just freaking and just say, we're going for it. And they got it. By the way, yeah, Morgan, that burger, that queso burger from the Burger Nerd, phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal, especially, after a night of hydrating. We could talk some of these other games. We're going to run out of time. South Florida at Miami. Look, South Florida just ran into what might be the best team in the country at this point. I mean, we talked about Miami's just, they're firing on all cylinders. They're so balanced. They seem like they do everything well. And South Florida, you get the weather delay. I don't think that really played any factor, really. They just couldn't get anything going offensively, and they were trying to catch up.
They struggled on that side of the ball. And I when we previewed the game on Friday, I said, Carson Beck, like, he's really, really good. And he's looked that good in the first 2 weeks and just on time, on target. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Miami's deservedly ranked where, they are. And it's just tough matchup.
Well, and Game Day decided they're going to go to Miami next week versus this Florida team that everybody's been telling me is so bad. So I'm not real sure why that's happening. I'm not real sure why LSU and Miami are going to get credit for beating this bad Florida team, but South Florida won't get credit anymore. Anyway, Jeff, Old Dominion is by no means a layup. Group of 5 guys told me that, so that has to be true.
Isn't that
How
great?
about that coming to truth, huh?
I mean, just speaking it into existence there, Sprousey.
Colton Joseph, Jeff.
Kojo, baby,
Jeez.
276, 2 passing touchdowns. Had another one on the ground with 63 yards. But Traquan Jones, man, 100 yards on the ground, a touchdown. They just were all over offensively on the field, taking care of business. He gives them a chance in any game. And if he plays well, you're going to have a tough time with him. So shout out to Kojo.
Yeah, 100%. And they found some balance. What's that?
Virginia Tech fired their coach.
I know. Let the rumors begin. So did UCLA, by the way. Mm-hmm. Texas State, Arizona State, certainly not the epic game it was last year. Brad Jackson finally looked like a young quarterback a little bit, and they just weren't able to get any rhythm going offensively.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I'm still high on Texas State. I think they're going to be just fine. And a little bit of growing pains at that position. You're going to have them, especially coming off that. Like, say what you want. Coming off of a physical, tough, long game against San Antonio, you got the high of that game. It's tough to as a complete, as a team to stay up there and to get ready for, tough Arizona State team.
Yeah. And then we talked about UCLA fired Deshaun Foster. Boy, that'd be a terrible job to take. I mean, unless you're into LA, you want to go to LA, but UCLA, you're at the bottom of the Big Ten. You got no money to do it. Not anyway, but New Mexico. You better start looking at New Mexico a little bit, Jeff.
Hey, 300 total rushing yards on the ground. Last week it was Scottrey Humphrey, Damon Bankston this week. Like the stable of FCS running backs that Eck brought in, they are going to pound it on you. And then they played good defense. So this is what you want to see. Improvement. He comes in, fairly early. They're 2-1 now. Like, shout out to the Lobos, man.
And they had to replace Dampier. They had to replace the coach. I mean, Eck has done a phenomenal job early in the season here. Memphis at Troy. I'm going to tell you, Memphis is flying under the radar. They're not the offensive juggernaut yet, but defensively, they held Troy to 112 total yards of offense on Saturday. They're going to be tough. They are going to be a really tough out. I mean, we got them at number 2 in our poll that'll come out here in a little.
We got them right where I think where they should be.
Yeah, but they looked really good. Shula Bowl, Jeff. FIU gets it done. 6th all-time win in the series. Kajon Owens, big day on the ground. 19 carries, 173, 2 touchdowns. And then on the other side, Veltkamp, 3 interceptions. It's
Just can't do it.
You can't do it. Cannot win with him. Can't do it.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, down there in
Yeah.
that offense. I don't know if they're just having some miscommunication, if he's just, some balls were late. I don't know. I had really high expectations for this offense and for him as a quarterback, and it just hadn't yet come to fruition. But here's the deal. Still early. Like, hadn't gotten to conference play yet. So everything you want is still in front, but they gotta get those turnovers figured out. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that historically do this. We talked about UTSA on Friday. We mentioned that, like, they often struggle in the non-conference, and you're sitting there looking at a team that's 1-3, and then all of a sudden they get into conference play and they get that thing rolling. So you never know for FAU. They might be that way. Liberty lost to Bowling Green. I just don't think Liberty's very good, Jeff. I mean, they don't really do anything that good. I don't know, dude.
It hasn't looked fluid at all offensively, and then Vasco, you have the 2 picks, so that automatically in a tight physical game, when you play Bowling Green, that's what you're going to get, down and dirty and physical.
Yeah,
and they end up losing 23-13.
Well, and what I don't get is
60 yards in the ground.
Julian,
not crazy, but
yeah. Well, what I don't get is Julian Gray was kind of the key. He's the key offensively for them, and he only got 3 touches. I mean, I don't know. You get hurt, you get banged up, but 3 touches for probably your best offensive player ain't gonna cut it.
No, it's not. But again, it hadn't got into conference yet.
Well, but see, they have
outside of Jack State.
Yeah,
and that is big. But we saw, Jack State played Georgia Southern very tight. Probably should have won, but I don't know. They're going to need some help in conference, but I think they'll get in conference and hopefully get some things figured out.
Yeah, you mentioned Jack State. A lot of offense in that game, limited to 0 defense. Georgia Southern back in the win column. That's Paulson. The power of Paulson. Statesboro Sprouse will tell you, Jeff. You get down there at Paulson Stadium, the prettiest little stadium in America, and they'll get after you. But Georgia Southern gets that win. Both running backs went off. Both Cam Cook and O.J. Arnold, and so
I love O.J. Arnold, and this is what I wanted to see. And I know they've had a tough first 2-game stretch out on the West Coast, but 16 carries, 128 yards, and 2 tugs. O.J. Arnold's that dude. He's been around for a long time. And then J.C. French didn't turn it over. Played pretty efficient, 16-24. 75 points in this game. I didn't expect that, to be honest with you.
Well, and Dalen Cobb had the kick return, too, for a touchdown. That was pretty much what won it for him. We talked about Air Force Utah State already. Utah State, Bryson Barnes, 17-22, 287, 2 touchdowns. Utah State looking to jump into that Mountain West mix. We talked about North Texas already. I mean, they just firing. They're firing on all cylinders right now, both sides of the ball, Jeff. App State, Southern Miss, huh? Southern Miss the real deal, you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say not, based off of how they've played, because they've played pretty well the first 3 games. Obviously got some things to clean up, but the 3 picks in the red zone by A.J. Swan, that's tough, because those are, even if you just get a field goal, right there, it changes the complexity of those games. So you can't do that. But yeah, I'm buying Southern Miss to a certain point. I mean, Braxton's been great, 22-30, 280, and 2 touchdowns. So he's gonna give you a puncher's chance in every game. He's got a Sun Belt championship around his waist, and quite frankly, I know it's not Marshall, but you got to take it off of the kid. It's his.
Well, you got to take it off of him. You got to take it off of Huff. You got to take it off about 40 of the guys on that roster. So that was going to be that. I mean, that was the thing. You thought, okay, they're bringing over a lot of guys, but there's no Mike Green on this team. There's not some of those D linemen on this team. But so far, they seem to be looking the part.
5 sacks by the Eagles too.
Yeah. East Carolina is another team that's looked pretty damn good, Jeff. Almost 500 yards total offense for East Carolina. And you could say this is a negative towards Coastal or a positive towards East Carolina, but 3 sack fumbles, 2 interceptions. I mean, nothing in the ground game for Coastal for that East Carolina. That East Carolina defense flies around.
They do, and very balanced. 200 yards in the ground, 300 in the air. Hauser's looking pretty good. The defense, yeah, you mentioned it, pitching a shutout. So,
Yeah.
I'll eat a little bit of crow here. I will.
Yeah.
Because I have no problem admitting when I misassessed something. East Carolina looks pretty good. Hauser's has answered the bell. I said he was the key that he needed to improve from a year ago, and so far, for the most part, he has. And then the defense looks, two kind of classic Pirate form. So shout out to the Pirates.
Well, they turned it over so much last year that it was impossible to get any kind of momentum or any kind of rhythm going. And so far, obviously Saturday they forced 5 turnovers. I mean, you force 5 turnovers, like I don't think you're losing to anybody. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just all those extra possessions. Navy and Tulsa. Navy started slow again. Got it going late. I'm still waiting for them to turn it on. I'm still waiting for them to kick it into gear because the schedules, I know we talked about their schedule being relatively easy in the first half, but it's going to get difficult quickly.
It is, and that worries me a little bit for Navy because some of these games, they have struggled. They were down to Tulsa early. Horvath had 2 interceptions, ended up turning it around. He had 160 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And then Teska, another 2 touchdown performance. So not as smooth as you want to see early on, but if they can just keep improving and Horvath can clean up some of these picks, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. Did you see this Akron and UAB game? So UAB houses the opening kick for a touchdown, and then they kick it off, touchback, and then Akron scores on their first play from scrimmage. 7-7, 22 seconds into the game.
Wow.
If that doesn't explain UAB Akron in a nutshell, dude. I mean, I don't know what does, but UAB got the win. For all the warmth on Trent Dilfer's seat, they're 2-1.
And as long as they keep doing that, it doesn't really look it doesn't matter so much how it looks as long as you're getting them done.
No.
Jalen Kitna had a pretty good day, over 300 yards passing.
Yeah.
Only 81 rushing yards against Akron. That kind of concerns me a little bit because if you get so one-dimensional, it's going to be easier for defenses to game plan around you. But you get the win. Shout out to them.
Yeah. Boy, UConn at Delaware, we were wrong about this one. Delaware, I mean, Joe Silver, 15 carries, 179, 2 touchdowns, and then the receiver, Duplessis, 9 catches, 161, and a teeter, Jeff. The Blue Hens, you talked about them being a team we got to pay attention to.
They were right. It was between Delaware and Utah State. I ended up going with Utah State as the team to watch, but Delaware's right there too. 2-1 for the newcomer in Conference USA. And I got to give credit. He's got to be freaking Italian with a name like Nick Minucci. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 in the air. Dude's playing, balling out of his mind, putting up 44 points. Shout out to the Paisan, Minucci.
Jeff, do we need to start putting together a care package with a salami stick and send it to the Paisan of the week, as you call it?
Had a little calabrese salami, a little sopressata. We could do that. No problem. They're dry. They're dry salami, so we can just send them right in the box. Don't even need to refrigerate them. Natural mold casing on the outside, my friend.
They had a pretty good smorgasbord of cold cuts at Tulane, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Some custom cheeses. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. Are we back? Are the Blue Raiders back, Jeff?
Look. Listen, Linda.
We were not back for 55 minutes of that game.
You know what? I'm so happy for Nick Vadiato specifically. For him to get that rushing touchdown at the end of the game, you get the win. It was ugly. Not how you exactly wanted to see, but you get the win. Now coming back home, you got homecoming against Marshall. Going to be a tough game. Hopefully that builds some confidence. Let me just say this. Can we just spread the frickin' ball out? Let's go 4 and 5 wide. Put Jaquel out there as a 5th receiver. We're struggling running the ball, having issues again on the offensive line. Let's not overthink this. Your talent is on the outside at the receiver position. Spread it out, 5 wide. Let's throw it 50 times a game. It's going to give you a shot. Pound it when you can, but we're just struggling up front. It is a struggle to move the ball running. So maybe let's get the pass to open up the run. because we got to stop and let's go fast. Let's go tempo.
Yeah, you're going to have to get some defenses off balance because per the standard so far, you haven't been able to block anybody. So you're going to have to do something there. New Mexico State at La Tech. What about La Tech, huh? Blake Baker at La Tech threw for 182, ran for 103. Shades of Dwight Dasher in a Tony Franklin offense a little bit now.
Well, that's what we're waiting on seeing, Sprousey, is when was this Franklin offense going to get going? Seemed like it did, putting up 49 points. So maybe they can build on this, move forward, crack the top 25 this week of the Group of 5 guys.
Well, and in the preseason, La Tech was one of those teams where we thought, because everybody was all worked up about them coming to the Sun Belt, and we were talking about how I think they're going to be pretty good this year, and it's going to calm a little bit of those nerves with the Sun Belt teams getting what they thought might be a bad La Tech team. I think La Tech's doing all right, and the way that Liberty looks, Jack State may be vulnerable, maybe a little bit too one-dimensional. Jacksonville, Alabama, La Tech might be in the mix here. Buffalo's a team that has not looked the part so far. I mean, they're still winning. So again, you want to learn these lessons and win, but I mean, you can't give up the amount of offense they gave up to Kent State this week.
Not when your defense is supposed to be
right,
really, really good. But I do want to give, because I watched a lot of this game because Buffalo did not cover in my parlay. Drew DeShields played very, very well. And he didn't force the ball. When it wasn't there, he was running around, making plays. So it was a welcome sight for Kent State. And I think you roll with that kid. He played well. And just see what he can do. Cade Wolford, 3 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Looked very good. Who knows? Maybe Kent State can rattle off a couple wins.
Yeah. You never know. Well, I'm going to be fully transparent with everybody here listening and watching. The rest of these games, I didn't watch. Well, I mean, we watched some Oklahoma Temple quite a bit at Bruno's, but they were tough. They didn't go so hot for us in the Group of 5. And then we did win all of the, I'll just rattle these off before we get into the other ones. But UTSA beat Incarnate Word. We won all of these. Incarnate Word, UTSA. Charlotte got a win against Monmouth. Big home win for Charlotte. Rice beat Prairie View. Kennesaw beat Merrimack, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Ball State and New Hampshire. That game was tight for a long time. I mean, to make sure Ball State got that win. I sound like an AP voter. I've already sent in my ballot, and I haven't even checked the results. Toledo beat Morgan State. Look, Toledo is rocking and rolling, man. They are rocking and rolling because Morgan State isn't terrible. So Toledo's rolling. Fresno starting to look a lot better. Hawaii. Marshall got a win. Not pretty, but they got a win. And then TJ Finley and Georgia State. Tell you something, TJ Finley is going to cause problems for somebody along the lines here. We know the guy's talented. That's why he keeps getting picked up in the portal. He just tends to run into some issues, but off the field, but on the field, pretty special player. Temple just couldn't, they just couldn't get it going. Oklahoma seems to be pretty good.
I was going to say, I think Oklahoma's really good.
Yeah, Mateer does it all for them too, the quarterback. UTEP at Texas. Hey, UTEP held on. Texas don't look to be the premier number 1 team in the country. And again, that goes back to what we talked about earlier, right? This is what you and I talked about for our poll, is you can have somebody jump a bunch of people or drop a couple because the sample size starts to look better. You start to figure out like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's not that I'm dropping the number 1 team to number 10 after beating somebody. It's that, oh, okay, well, maybe we realize the teams that they beat aren't that good. And we were, it'd be like if we realize, maybe we will, that maybe Florida is bad. Maybe Boise State is bad. I don't think that's the case for either of those teams. But then it would look like, oh, okay, well, maybe South Florida, not as impressive those first couple of weeks as we thought. But I think so far for them, I just think Miami's really good. And I think Florida and Boise are pretty good. And I think South Florida's pretty good. Central Michigan at Michigan, that one was tough. Biff Poggi, interim head coach at Michigan for the game there.
Biff Poggi's back.
They had a bunch of clips. They had that clip of him saying, we're like sausage, watching sausage being made. It's a horrifying experience. That guy got a salami stick from Jeff Murphy.
He did. They
Yeah.
gave him a little Calabrese.
Ohio, man, Ohio plays tough. They play
do.
really good defensively. They're going to be they're an absolute contender in the MAC.
Well, absolutely. And one of the questions we had preseason was, who was more important to this program, Parker Navarro or Tim Albin? Now, I think Tim Albin was still important, but Parker Navarro has taken this team on his back and is just playing great football, running around making plays in their defense. Defense has looked really good.
Yeah, they have. They're going to be, if everybody stays healthy, they're going to be really good. Western Michigan and Illinois. I think Illinois is pretty damn good too.
I agree.
Especially defensively. Eastern Michigan at Kentucky. You know, he played them tight. They played tough. It wasn't. Could have been worse. UMass at Iowa. I mean, well, I don't know what was the score of that game, Jeff.
You said UMass at Iowa?
Yeah.
I'm
being totally transparent.
47-7.
27-7.
47-7.
47-7.
Yeah,
You can't let Iowa score 47 points. Missouri State had an early lead at home against SMU.
Yes,
It was 10-0 early, wasn't
10-0. Yep, sure was.
And then they lost it.
Missouri State has played well. I feel like the first couple weeks. I know they're 1-2, but Jacob Clark has looked pretty good. He had the 3 picks against SMU, so that was the tough sledding there. But they're better than I thought they were going to be, at least in the first 3 games.
Yeah. Well, we knew Jacob Clark was going to be a pretty good player. His FCS tape is really good. Yeah, you can't throw 3 picks, especially in a tight game. That's the difference in the game, right? But yeah, I think they're going to give some teams some trouble. How about that? Missouri State and Delaware, huh?
Mm-hmm.
These newcomers keep coming into Conference USA. And see, I know we got to go. With Conference USA, everybody talks about it being this FCS call-up. But here's the thing. What you've seen in Conference USA is you've seen Jacksonville State come up and be competitive right away, and then so far sustained that competitiveness. So now if you get Delaware and Missouri State, they come in, they're competitive right away. Now they sustain. Now, 5-6 years down the road, you might be like, hey, Western Kentucky, Liberty, Missouri State, Delaware, Middle, FIU looks pretty damn good this year. Now you got a 6 or 7 deep conference like everybody. So you just be patient with this conference.
Just got to be patient. This, not going to say it's there right now, but has a potential. It's what the Sun Belt did when everybody left them and they brought in App and Georgia Southern and all these good FCS programs. They just continue to build. They have the right leadership in place. So they're going to continue to invest and get better. So,
well, and again, we've been super positive about Liberty, but Liberty's the biggest fan base that wants out of Conference USA. Why? Where you? I mean, you better worry about Conference USA because
no doubt
it might be 2 years in a row you don't win it. So you know what I mean. Anyway, Utah at Wyoming. Playing at Wyoming's always tough, and they did a hell of a job keeping that one tight. But Utah's a pretty good team too. South Alabama at Auburn. South Alabama is pretty good, Jeff.
Davenport.
Bishop Davenport has answered the bell. You lose Gio Lopez, and Bishop Davenport has come in there and been the guy. Seems calm under pressure. They're good up front. They're going to be right there in that mix, especially with the way Louisiana has not looked and Troy doesn't have a quarterback and the way they have not looked. So you get out there in that Sun Belt West, Texas State, Southern Miss, South Alabama.
Yeah, it's open.
They're in there. They're in the mix for sure. Iowa State, Arkansas State. Hey, Arkansas State was pretty competitive at home with a pretty decent Iowa State team. Had the waterfalls going and everything in the stadium there.
Yeah, I mean, not the performance Jalen Rayner wanted for sure. But I still think Arkansas State, when they get in conference, have a chance to be a dark horse candidate because of Rayner and that receiving core and their just ability to make big plays. So Iowa State's pretty good. Rocco Beck's a great quarterback. I knew that was going to be a tough one. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And then Louisiana.
Hate it.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Missouri's a good club, but Louisiana has not looked good all year, really.
They haven't.
So hate that for them.
Sorry,
Well, we
Taylor.
got. How do you want to do this, Jeff? You want to play these voicemails and then
Yeah.
we'll end it with the little Tulane teaser, or what?
Yeah, we can do that. Do you want to save the? Yeah, we'll save the offensive, defensive player. And
Yeah,
all
it'd
that
be
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, let's hit the voicemails.
615-900-4286. Call it after you win. Call it after you lose. Call it before and give your predictions.
Group of 5 guys, Iverson Reed, 6-0 along. ECU, they've scored again. It's 24-0, and I know Cardinals turn, but I've since just turned the game off. This defense, frankly, is just being wasted on by our offense, and just kind of looking at everything that's going on online within our fan base, within our sphere. I don't think it's a hot take, but I could say I'm pretty confident in my guess that Tim Beck, he might not make it to the season. I think I can confidently say that before the season is over, we're gonna have a interim coach, and we're gonna be going into the new season, into 2026, with a new regime. But on a more positive note, really like what I'm seeing with Tulane and Duke, and yeah, Tulane, their fan base, they've responded to John Summerall's, demand really of showing up, being there, making an effect for Tulane, and yeah, like it's really cool seeing Yeoman packed out like that. And it's really Yeoman Stadium is just such a cool stadium, honestly, just being nestled in the neighborhood of New Orleans and having it be so close to the community and all that. I really like that. But that's all I have for y'all. Thanks for covering the G5 and putting a national spotlight on it. God bless. God bless Cooper Fly, guys.
No, Iverson, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
That
it ain't looking good in Conway for Tim Beck right now. That's I think that's a pretty desirable job, right?
I would think so.
Location. I mean, some success. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and they're building that new indoor, aren't they?
believe so. Hate it for you.
Yeah.
But hey, by the way, yes, on Tulane, and there's some talk about expanding that thing. For the love of God, keep it, fill it.
Sell it out at every game, then you can
yes.
talk about expanding.
Yes, and don't expand it by making it 30,000 and then making it 60,000. Make it 35. You know what I mean? I don't know how they're going to expand it though. You got the neighbors over there ain't going to put up with that crap.
No, well you can't. You can only go
The
up so high
HOA.
either. Yeah, you can't.
Tulane football, it's like they're a part of an HOA. They're not allowed to do anything because the HOA president's gonna get on them for the noise.
They said those guys have been very cooperative and understanding.
Yeah, they are.
Having
You can't paint the stadium a certain color that the HOA is gonna get upset. Anyway, what else we got, Jeff?
Let's keep it rolling.
Group of 5 guys, Josh Bevel here. We're in the victory column, fellas. We've done it. We got the monkey off the shoulder, first of many this season. We beat Jacksonville State in the prettiest little stadium in America. Man, it felt great to be back in Statesboro. Felt great to be back in Paulson. 41-34. Obviously there's still some things we need to clean up. Hey, that's football, But really, Taylor, 2 halves for our defense. In the first half, our defense led up almost 300 yards. I think about 280, 282 is what I'm seeing. And we let up, hold on, bear with me. We let up 24 points in the first half. And in the second half, we let up 10. And that was just in the third quarter. There was 20 points scored in the second half by both teams. 10 by Jacksonville State in the third, 10 by us in the fourth. And in the second half, I tell you what, we really shined on defense. We really shined on defense in the second half, boys. I mean, there's still a lot that needs to be done, obviously, but you let up 110 yards in the second half and 10 points, and the refs were questionable, to be quite honest with you, but hey, it is what it is. I don't care. JC looked good. Run game looked phenomenal. Phenomenal today, or yesterday, sorry. My brain's a little hazy this morning, fellas, but Hail Southern, go Eagles, and Maine, y'all sorry asses from up north, you're next. God bless the Group of 5 guys.
Appreciate you, Josh. Congratulations, man.
Well, Maine gave the Liberty Flames all they could handle, pal. So
yes, they did. See?
We're back. Statesboro Sprouse, Josh. We're back, buddy.
Jeez, here we go.
Hey, fellas, Group of 5 guys. Morgan here. My voice is shot, but we did it. We gave Darian Mensah the big fat L that he deserved coming back to New Orleans. Just want to shout out to you guys, first of all, for coming in and doing the content. Really appreciate you guys' time. It was great to meet you at Bruno's. Shout out to the students and the fans that came out to the game. That was the best non-championship vibe and atmosphere we've ever had in Yeoman, with the new lights and 30,000 fans and a packed out student section. Just unbelievable. And Jake Retzloff, I mean, I'm already running out of words to describe this guy. Just so cool, calm, collected under pressure, does what he needs to do. School record for a QB, 4 rushing touchdowns. Great job through the air, especially on the deep pass to Shaz Preston that really broke the game open. And credit to our defense for not breaking. They contained Darian, did an awesome job on the really good wide receiver core. And just what an epic win. I'm just so happy that we pulled it out in front of a packed house, 3-0, getting ready to roll into Oxford, Mississippi next week, battle of 3-0 teams. I cannot wait. And I'm just so happy for this team. This is an uphill trajectory, and I can't wait to see what we do next week. So, roll damn wave. Thank you guys. On to the next one.
It's great to see you, Morgan.
It was great to see Morgan. And I have a complaint, Jeff.
What you got?
I know I got a lot of these. Bruno's Tavern. How can you not serve lunch at 12 noon on a Saturday when you got a massive football game going on? Now, they made some phone calls, and it appears they got it fixed.
Cook came in a little early, Cookie.
But, I mean, we got to get that under control, Jeff, because otherwise you're going to walk across the street to the Burger Nerd or to the bagel shop over there.
Let me tell you, those wings and tendies came out. They look pretty damn good.
I know, but we had already eaten.
I know.
Already eaten at the Burger Nerd. It was great to see you, Morgan. And you said it all, man. That atmosphere was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
No doubt.
Hey guys, Zach Green here. I got to start off by giving credit to Bowling Green. They played well on defense. They played well enough on offense. They had a pretty good crowd there. Drew Pine threw some really good footballs. Eddie George seems like he's got something good going there. I mean, I didn't even know his son, Eric, is, I think, a D lineman or a linebacker for them. He got in the backfield a couple times at least. So props to them. They earned that win. But if I'm not mistaken, they also had over 100 penalty yards. And somehow we couldn't capitalize on that because we had a bunch of our own penalty yards. And we had, I think, like 4 turnovers. So, again, what did I say last week? Rush defense, turnovers, special teams. So the rush defense, I mean, it was not perfect, but it was a little bit better, I think. But the turnovers were rough, man. I forget exactly what all of them are. I know there was 2 interceptions. One was just a tip ball that kind of went up in the air. And another one was just a bad throw by Vasco. He kind of shows flashes of looking really good, and then just a little bit sketchy later. And we had two touchdowns that were called back because of penalties. Definitely some questionable officiating, but also just not enough disciplined football on our part. So 2 touchdowns we could have had that somebody screwed up with a penalty. And then we also missed the field goal. So there's your special teams again. They kept fighting. Like there was a chance to get back in it at the end of the game, scored a touchdown in the last few minutes, but it just wasn't enough. And 13 points is just not going to be enough. And I'm sorry if they're beeping you here. I think it's text messages coming in. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's not going to be enough. And it's got to get fixed because we got James Madison coming in next week. Old Dominion is looking good. And then we got a bunch of conference games after that. And season's not over. There's a lot of games left to be played. Conference championship can still be won. Heck, double-digit games can still be won. But it is like, come to Jesus, red alert. We got to get locked in time now because this is not good, and this is not – I'm going to just say it at this point, this is not Liberty football. And we've got a good staff. They can get it figured out, but it's got to happen now. Flames fans, those of you that are – ready to doubt and ready to just throw your hands up, don't quit. This is like that scene in The Patriot where the main character, the Mel Gibson character, I forget what his name is, in that last battle, grabs the flag and starts running back to the front after everybody's retreating. Rally to the flag, people. Let's go get this win next weekend and beat James
Madison.
Well, good luck. I mean, as it stands right now, Jeff, there's going to be a bludgeoning in Lynchburg.
They'll play up. They'll get up for that game.
I hope so. I mean, I want it to be a good game. A lot of somber calls this morning, Jeff.
Well, the last one.
I already know it's coming because I know the time it came in.
Earmuffs, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little bit. Oh, Stu.
Hey, boys. Stu's right on Twitter. About 11 minutes left in the third quarter, and I'm on the verge of turning this fucking game off. 3 picks on the goal line or in the end zone in the first half. 3 picks on the goal line or in the end zone. One of them went 99 yards back the other way for a fucking touchdown. I have absolutely lost my mind. There's nothing left. What do we have to do to hold on to the fucking football on the mountain? What do we have to do? I'm at a loss. I probably won't call back in after this game because I don't envision myself being any happier than I am now. Anyways.
Stu, it's a long season, bud.
Long season.
Good.
That's it, huh?
That was it.
No. Stu, you got – who do they play this week?
They off or no, they on? Let's see here. Sunbelt. App Stady. They got.
Oh, they're off. Oh, no. They're off, but
they got a Boise.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Off, and then they traveled to Boise, then got Oregon. Oregon State, I mean.
Tell you what, Stu, we'll hear from you on October 5th, buddy.
I thought they were originally going out to Boise, I thought.
I think they are. Yeah.
So that'd be a fun trip.
That'd be a cool trip. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they get up for it. You know,
coming off a bye week, they'll be ready.
Yeah, they'll be ready to go. Is that it, Jeff?
That's it.
Well, so I'll close us, and then you just want to play that little Tulane teaser to end the show, and we'll sign off from there.
Yep.
Guys, look, if you like the show, make sure you hit follow on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. Take a look at this little teaser. We'll have a documentary coming out probably Thursday, but we'll see you before then Wednesday morning for the morning show. Have a great week.
Hit me. Biting the sternum this time, T, baby. You already know, you already know, you already know. This that hustler music, young Beezy got that hustler music. So ride to it, y'all, vibe to it, y'all. Damn, mixed the hit in his head with this one. I'ma paint the city red with this one. I'ma head with this one. See you f***ing with the ball, 2 toys way before Christmas. No assistance, just that persistence with that commitment. If I don't get it, somebody gon' die tonight. This song, see I be riding, just riding alone with my daddy on